So I first off just speaking about the level of submission. So I'm just gonna take a deep breath just so I can just put this all together real quick. Your, to answer the first question, the reason why black women, because you was like black men, black men. So just like they said, white people, they be like you can't say all white people but it's bad. But if majority of y'all is racist, then I'm gonna think you racist, right? Right? Saying you can agree that for white people. You feel me? It's like, yeah, I gotta feel you out first. You feel me? So I think the problem is men come in expecting that, not realizing the statistics. Even y'all, as the married men on this panel, y'all say y'all don't make up the majority of the men that we have to deal with. You know the issues that black women have to deal with, far as stable homes and things like that in the community. So yeah, when we initially come in, we're gonna be a little, you feel me, a little combative, asked a lot of questions and things of that nature. But it's very hard because when you look, I seen a statistic the other day that said women own a lot of homes now, more homes than usual, you know, more than men. And it's like we are obviously doing something right. So when we come in, and it's not that we're trying to tell you how to do your job, but some of us sometimes have a little bit more experience in getting things done. And I feel like the men that's the issue in the community, the ones that you said like, oh, why do we feel like this, or why do we feel like we need to question you, is because a lot of them dropped the ball. And when it's time for y'all to take our advice, a lot of us not trying to just make you take it, but we're asking questions to make sure you're going on the right path to doing things correct, depending, like, you know, just to make sure you got it all. And I don't think it's like to demean you, but I feel like a man that's comfortable in his masculinity, he knows a woman is going to ask questions. He knows she's going to be concerned. That's just what we do. That's who we are. A king. When you think about it, they had oracles, they had advisors, and a lot of the oracles, when it came down to intuition and having to make decisions, they were women. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. We consult. Another thing is when you talk about authority, it's the way that you're saying it, and then the positions that you're putting us in. When you have a business, you have, so for instance, think of it like you said, like a business, right? But it's more of a partnership. So when you think of a
It's a
partnership,
team.
they, a team, but it's still a partnership. A marriage and a relationship is a partnership. So it's something they bring it, like they said, I bring something that women bring, you bring something that men bring, and together this makes it whole, like in a partnership. So if I say I'm gonna go into a business with you and this is a partnership, we own equal amount of the company. We have equal input. It's not just your authority. So yes, I'm going to question you. And yes, I need to make sure I understand it, because that's, God say when two or more come together, that's how you know you're divinely in tune. So when you and I can say, okay, now we can agree. Now we know we didn't met that equal masculinity and masculine, that
But
equal
that's
femininity.
impossible.
I know I see you rushing me, but I was waiting for a minute. But that's when you bring together that femininity and that masculinity to make sure you have the right question. Because if you've noticed, the Europeans kind of steered the men wrong with making our opinion not as valuable. And I feel like that's why a lot of men make mistakes, because y'all forget about our intuition. And our intuition is connected with faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So it might not be no evidence there, but our intuition, it be hidden. And the kings go to us, and us women. Just remember that in history.
Well, I agree with you, which is why I said it's nothing wrong with making suggestions and there's nothing wrong with giving input. So I don't know if we're having like a disconnect in what you think I'm saying versus what I'm saying, because I just wanted to be clear. There's nothing wrong with making a suggestion. There's nothing wrong with giving input. I'm not implying that women should be silent, women should have no opinion, and that women should have no thoughts. I don't know if that's not being communicated to y'all directly, but that's
No,
not what I'm
I
saying
hear
at all.
that. I hear that, but I think that us living in a democracy and thriving in one and not a dictatorship, I think we can all agree that a democracy works better. And
He-
sometimes it's not a suggestion, sometimes it's a hard no because we
See, here's
see
the thing.
something maybe you don't see.
Here's the thing. Dad said something earlier where she mentioned it being a partnership, and I stated that that's impossible. And the reason why that's impossible, because no matter how you look at it, the man is always going to have to be be responsible in the end, no matter what the outcome is. Meaning, no matter what happens, whatever decisions are made, if they both make the decisions collectively, at the end of the day, the one who's going to have to stand up for them at the end is the guy. So being that the guy in the relationship is usually the one who has to be responsible. That is why I feel as though there should be a little bit more respect given to his direction and his suggestions, because in the end, the weight will fall on his shoulders. If you're in a situation that needs protection, right? And I say, wait right here, and you like, oh, well, why should I wait right here? I'm gonna go out and look. If you go out and you look and you get shot and you get killed, no one's gonna say that his wife didn't listen to him and that's why she got killed. They're gonna say he failed to protect his wife. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say that that man is weak and he failed to protect his wife, even though he gave her clear instructions to wait here. And even though her inability to just give him that little bit of respect is what got her killed, they're still going to blame him because it's his responsibility to protect her and not her responsibility to even protect herself or to protect him. So it's not a balanced scenario when a man and a woman are together. So there's no way that the decision making can ever be completely equal. That's just never going to happen. If me and you go out together and someone tries to attack us, it is going to be expected that I put myself in between me and you to keep you safe. There's a risk that I'm always going to have to take when I'm with a woman that she will never even have to consider. And so, because there's so many options that you never even have to think about it, what I'm really saying is just trust me. Trust me. That's it. So maybe the way I stated it sounded a little harsher before, but what I'm essentially saying is give the man the trust, because a lot of women do not know how to trust and they want to question every little thing. And when you're questioning everything, to me, what that tells me is you don't trust me. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to risk my life for somebody who don't trust me. I don't want to. I don't want to go out in front of jump in front of a bullet for somebody who can't duck when I say duck. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Give men a little bit more trust, and you'll be pleasantly surprised in the direction that they'll lead you in. I think a lot of you think that men are just incompetent and have no thinking skills. But if some of y'all just sat back and stayed quiet for a little bit, you know what? Let me let him do it his way and let's see what the outcome is. Again, you'll be pleasantly surprised. You'll be like, damn, I never thought of doing it that way. And he did that. That's all I'm saying.
Cloud, that was the best example that you've given this entire speech. I wanted to start by saying that every other example that you gave fell on deaf ears, right? That was your best example. Yes, we can totally agree with you that I doubt any woman, if something is happening in the home and the man says, stay here, that we're going to be like, no, I'm going to go look. No, we're going to stay right there. Let you go on and figure out what's going on. But like Di was stating, the biggest component in what you stated is trust. And unfortunately, in the Black community, and this does not equate to all Black men, but a lot of Black women's experiences when it's coming down to trusting Black men hasn't led us in the best direction, right? So we are going to be less trusting, especially in the beginning when it comes to certain things. I feel like in the beginning, a lot of the conversation landed more on finances, business decisions, what direction he wants to go in with our family, where we moving, what, you got this dream, you want to build something. We need to understand the plan. There are a lot of men that are dreamers and have these grandiose plans, but they don't know how they're going to get there, and they want us to already be on board. I can't already be on board with that without asking all my questions, because it has to make sense for us. In that last example that you gave, of course we're going to listen to you. That's the time we'll trust you. But when it comes to other situations, it takes time to build that trust. Now, I agree, if the woman has already chosen you and that's her husband, then she should be able to trust him. But I also should be able to ask you certain questions if I feel like, maybe you're not the best with money. Because even if a man, let's say we're talking about a provider, a man can bring home all the money, but he'll dedicate all the bills to his wife because he knows she takes care of that. The bills are going to get paid if I give this chunk of money to her, because I might go out and gamble it away. I might splurge it on something that I really want. So I do think there has to be a partnership there. We have to be able to communicate. But yes, it all comes back to trust. If the woman doesn't trust you, we're not going to be able to allow you to lead us.
Trust our input too. Trust goes both ways.
Absolutely.